Toruk Maktor is a great war leader. All Navi people know his stories.
The movie begins over 10 years after humans first invaded Pandora. Jake, now leader of the Omatakaya clan, lives peacefully with his wife Neytiri and their children. They have 3 biological kids, Neteyam, Loak, and Tuk, and 2 adopted ones, Kiri, mysteriously born from Grace's avatar, and Spider, a human boy left behind because babies couldn't be put in cryosleep. Raised by Jake's family, Spider feels more Navi than human, though Neytiri distrusts him since he is the son of their enemy. One night, the family sees human ships returning, destroying Pandora again. A year later, aboard a human spacecraft, soldiers' minds are uploaded into avatar bodies. One awakens as Colonel Quaritch, who had died in the first invasion. A recording of his old self reveals his memories were saved so he could return and take revenge on Jake.
If you're any clone of mine, you'll be looking for some payback, and Jake Sully would be at the top of that list.
Meanwhile, Jake leads guerrilla attacks against human supply lines. The Navi fight with bows and banshees, but Jake uses guns and human radios. During a raid, Loak disobeys orders to prove himself, dragging Neteyam into danger. Both nearly die when attacked by a ship. Loak escapes, but Neteyam is injured before Jake saves him. Back home, Jake harshly scolds and grounds his sons. Neytiri argues they are only children, but Jake insists discipline is needed to protect them.
This is not a squad. It is a family.
I thought we lost them.
Later, the siblings visit Max, the scientist who sided with the Navi. At his lab, where Grace's comatose avatar body still lies, Kiri watches Grace's old logs. Her siblings tease her about not knowing her father, but Spider comforts her, admitting he also hates being the son of the enemy. Quaritch and his avatar soldiers arrive at the new human base on Pandora, where they learn humans are now building 3 times faster than before.
Colonel, we believe your blue team will be perceived as indigenous and will not trigger the immune response.
Armed with weapons, they explore the forest, finding old machines and signs of Quaritch's past life. Nearby, Jake's kids, except Neteyam, are playing but hide when they see the soldiers. Loak warns Jake, who tells them to leave quietly, but Quaritch ambushes them. He realizes they are Jake's half-human children and is shocked to see Spider, his own son.
I figured they sent you back to Earth.
I can't put babies in cryo, dipshit.
As Quaritch's team waits for pickup, Jake and Neytiri strike at night. Jake keeps Neteyam back, while Neytiri signals the kids, who bite their captors to escape. Quaritch taunts Neytiri, but Neteyam saves her just before a human ship arrives. Neytiri rescues her children, but leaves Spider behind, allowing Quaritch to take him.
Where's Spider?
They took him!
At the base, Spider endures a painful interrogation, but stays silent. Quaritch changes tactics, gently telling him that although he carries old memories, he is a new person who wants to bond. Spider begins to soften. Back home, Jake insists they must leave, explaining Quaritch targets their family. Though Neytiri resists abandoning their people, Jake names a successor and takes his family to the sea-dwelling Metkayina clan. Chief Tonawari and his wife Ronal worry about the family's human blood and possible war, but tradition forces them to give shelter. Their son, Awunung, disapproves.
Toruk Maktor is a great war leader. All Navi people know his stories.
But their daughter Rhea guides the newcomers. Jake's family works hard to adapt, learning to ride ilu, hold their breath, and live in the reef. Kiri amazes everyone with her natural ability to stay underwater indefinitely and her deep connection to sea life. Meanwhile, Quaritch's team starts taking Spider with them on their missions, making him their official translator. One day, Spider shows them a nest of ikrons, dangerous flying creatures that only very few can tame. Quaritch tries to tame one, fighting it to prove his strength. but he ends up falling off a cliff with the beast. The team thinks he's dead and prepares to return to base, but then Quaritch shocks them all by coming back, riding the tamed Ikran in victory. Back at the reef, Kiri grows closer to the sea and its creatures, which makes Aonung and his friends tease her, calling her strange. Loak defends her, and Netayam follows, hoping to calm things down.
Leave them alone.
Big brother, come.
Back off.
But Loak loses his temper and starts a fight, forcing Netayam to join in. When the adults separate them, Jake scolds his sons.
That's what the other guys look like. Worse. That's good.
Neytiri comforts Kiri, who feels sad about being different. Later, following Jake's orders, Loak apologizes to Aonung and his friends. Aonung accepts and takes Loak to a faraway spot, pretending he'll teach him to fish underwater. But it's all a prank. When Loak dives in, Aonung and his friends leave him behind. Now stranded, Loak tries to find his way back, but suddenly a huge sea predator attacks. Loak hides under coral, but he's running out of breath and is forced to come up for air. The predator charges at him again, until a massive whale-like creature called a tulkun appears, defeating the predator just as Loak faints. Loak wakes up on the back of the tulkun, who has saved him from drowning. The two form a bond, and Loak helps the tulkun by pulling out a harpoon stuck in its fin, left there by human hunters.
Friends? That's right, we're friends. Friends.
In return, the tulkun guides Loak back to the village, but leaves before anyone else can see it. Back home, Loak reunites with his family. Chief Tonawari apologizes for his son's prank, but Loak lies and says it was all his idea. This only makes Jake angrier, scolding him again and calling him the family's shame. Later, Aonung is confused about why Loak covered for him. Loak explains he knows how painful it is to disappoint your father, so he did not want Aonung to feel the same. The next day, Loak tells everyone about his adventure, and they realize he met Payakan, the tulkun that was cast out. The villagers believe Payakan is dangerous and a killer, so they ignore Loak when he says the creature is kind.
Payakan, a young bull who went rogue. He's outcast, alone, and he has a missing fin.
They say he is a killer.
A few hours later, Loak searches for Payakan again and asks why it was rejected by its own family, but Payakan stays silent. Even so, they swim together and grow closer as friends. At the same time, Rhea takes Kiri to her clan's Tree of Souls so she can connect with it and try to meet the spirit of Grace. After hugging Grace, Kiri asks why she's different and who her father is.
Why am I different? What does the Great Mother want from me?
But before Grace can answer, the vision ends because Kiri suddenly has a seizure. Her siblings rush her back to the village, and Jake calls Max for help. Max comes with his ship, but it's actually Ronal who manages to wake Kiri using a traditional healing ritual. Later, Max and his doctor friend explain that Kiri had an epileptic attack, and she must never connect to the tree again. Because Max used his own ship to reach Jake, the humans at the base were able to catch the signal. They lost it when the ship went deeper into the sea, but to track it again, they'll need someone who knows the islands well. Quaritch takes his team to a whaling ship. When the whalers refuse to help, Quaritch threatens to kill them until they agree to work with him. While a group of tulkuns visits Tonawari's village as they do every year, Quaritch and his men attack the first island they reach. They capture the locals to ask about Jake. Spider is horrified to see how cruel Quaritch really is, especially when he nearly kills innocent people for not knowing anything. Spider has to stop him.
I'm not gonna be part of this. These people don't know anything. They don't know anything.
But even then, Quaritch still orders his men to burn all the houses. News of the attack quickly reaches Tonawari, who warns Jake that Quaritch is close.
They threaten that the villagers will not tell them where you are, by my order.
Neytiri wants to fight him right away, but Jake asks her to wait and plan carefully. Meanwhile, Loak goes to visit Payakan. His friends secretly follow him to see if he's telling the truth. Loak asks why Payakan is an outcast, and the tulkun opens its mouth so Loak can swim inside and connect with its mind. Loak sees the truth. Payakan's mother was killed by whalers, and Payakan fought back to defend her. But since tulkuns are supposed to be peaceful, his pod cast him out for using violence. When the kids return, Tonawari and Ronal are furious and scold them for disrespecting tulkun culture.
You allowed this. You allowed him to bond with the outcast.
Only Rhea stands by Loak and tells him she's proud of him. Later, Quaritch realizes that scaring and hurting people won't make them talk, so he agrees to help the whalers hunt tulkuns instead. He knows killing the creatures, whom the villagers see as family, will force Jake to come out of hiding. Spider is disgusted as he watches the whalers use special ships and weapons to hunt the tulkuns by tracking their sounds. The worst part is that the whalers only kill tulkuns to take a special liquid from their brains, which is used to slow human aging. The rest of the body is simply thrown back into the sea.
All his worth like 80 million?
When the villagers find the bodies, they think Jake's family caused it. They want to fight back, but Jake shows them a tracker he pulled from a tulkun's fin. He explains it's a trap, and for now, the safest thing is to tell the tulkuns to swim away.
I will not stand and do nothing.
It's a trap. They want us to hit back.
Loak realizes no one will warn Payakan because he's an outcast. Ignoring his brother's warning, Loak goes to help him. Neteyam, his sisters, Aonung and Rhea follow, and they find Loak trying to pull a tracker out of Payakan's fin. The group jumps in to help Loak with Payakan's tracker, but it's already too late. The signal has been sent, and the whaler ship is on its way. The kids use their communicators to warn Jake, and Jake alerts the whole village. Everyone grabs their weapons and rides their Ilus to prepare for battle. The siblings finally pull the tracker off and swim away with it to protect Payakan. But this is exactly what Quaritch wanted. He orders his men to chase the kids. A long underwater chase begins. Since the kids need to come up for air, the humans soon catch Loak, Tuck, and Rhea with a net. Spider sees them being dragged onto the ship and tries to fight, but he's quickly overpowered and locked up, while the kids are tied to the railings. Jake and the villagers arrive, but they stop when they see the children are hostages. Quaritch grabs Loak's communicator and tells Jake to come alone if he wants to save his kids.
It's me that they want. That's what all this has been about, right? The hunting of a tulkun, the taking of our kids.
As Jake comes closer, Payakan suddenly leaps onto the ship, smashing it with his fins and tail. The bullets do not harm him, and he keeps pushing soldiers aside. While the humans are distracted, Jake calls his people to attack. The whalers fire harpoons at Payakan, forcing him back into the water. A fierce battle begins. The Na'vi have the advantage with their creatures, who are faster in the sky and can hide underwater. Kiri uses her bond with sea life to command plants against the submarines. Inside the ship, Spider uses the chaos to spread fire by turning on the fans and smashing the controls. Soon, the giant ship starts sinking. Jake fights Quaritch directly, and when he runs out of bullets, he sends his Ikran to attack, causing both to fall into the sea. Whalers target Payakan, but he uses their harpoon rope to destroy a boat. On the main ship, Neteyam frees his siblings, while Loak stays to rescue Spider.
Come on, bro. We can't leave him.
A soldier captures Kiri, and Tuk convinces Rhea to help, but Quaritch pushes Rhea back and captures Tuk. As the humans leave the sinking ship, Loak, Neteyam, and Spider fight back. Neteyam covers his brother's escape, but he is shot and dies despite Jake and Neytiri's efforts.
I want to go home. I know. Okay, we're going home.
Quaritch contacts Jake, claiming he has the daughters and demanding Jake come alone. Jake goes with Spider guiding him, while Loak secretly follows. Using a hidden path, Jake sets off a grenade, creating chaos, and he and Neytiri storm the ship. Neytiri fights fiercely in her grief, scaring Spider. Jake rescues Tuck, but Kiri is held hostage. Spider pleads for her life, and Neytiri takes Spider as her own hostage, forcing Quaritch to release Kiri. Neytiri escapes with the children, while Jake stays to fight Quaritch. The battle continues underwater as the ship sinks, trapping Jake, Neytiri, Tuck, and Quaritch. Outside, Kiri, Loak, and Spider guide Neytiri and Tuck to safety. Jake finally defeats Quaritch underwater, leaving him unconscious. Loak saves Jake as he runs out of air. Spider finds Quaritch alive but decides to leave him on an island and reunites with his family. Payakan also helps rescue Jake and Loak. Jake expresses pride in Loak, and the family reunites, mourning Netayam. Later, they bury Netayam following Tonawari's clan traditions. Jake and Neytiri connect to the Tree of Souls to see Netayam's spirit one last time, and the movie ends. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel for more great content. Thank you for watching.